Hey, hey, ha, 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 ha. Welcome to the show, Gino.
Thank you, Jack.
Happy Wednesday. It's the Breaking and Entering live show, marketing news, advertising news you need to know today. We got a big slate of guests, Gino, and a lot of stories to get through. Heineken and Heinz pair up. Heinzeken for the latest in six-pack innovation, but not so fast because Miller Lite announced their own six-pack product. And then we have Emmy Award-winning violinist and global chief music officer of Havas, Damien Escobar, joining. DENTSU 360i is back after 4 years, and Christine Cotter, who will be running it, joins us. Then we have Dick's and Adidas collabing on a new campaign by OBB Media and their branded content studio Bolded. James Rowe from Bolded joins us alongside Emily Silver, the Dick's CMO. But first, our top story, Gino, what do we got?
Yeah, we're going to be talking about Accenture Song's acquisition of Whalar. Now, this is a big move here. Ndidi Ote and Joe Cronk will be joining us here. But really, the whole thing here is understanding where advertising is headed. Gone are the days of the traditional brand platform, big campaigns. We're switching over now to social, marketing, influencers, and this is a big signifier of that. Are we cool to bring them on?
Yeah, let's bring them in. Ndidi Ote and Joe Cronk, welcome to the show. How are you both doing?
Hello. Thank you for having us.
Hey, gentlemen, it's great to meet you both. Finally, I feel like I can say finally.
It's a pleasure. You know, it's a long time coming, and speaking of things that are maybe a long time coming or maybe not a long time coming, Accenture and Whalar teaming up together. Can we talk about it? Can we maybe explain? Ndidi, would love to hear from you. You know, how long has this been in the works, this acquisition, and now getting to this point?
Well, you know, I will tell you, I think maybe about a year ago at Cannes, we had, you know, at Cannes, it's those moments where everything's going so fast, your schedule's so crazy. And we had a pass through and was like, oh, this is a good connection. This is a really good connection. And I think that we have been partnering in the market for a while. And, you know, I think all partnerships are important in the sense of it's not just about the immense success that Whalar has. It's also about how they work. It's also about the people, who they are. And it always felt like a good fit. And, you know, the creator economy is maturing significantly. It is a serious core driver of business growth. And Accenture Song is about business growth. So it felt very natural for us to make this happen.
Absolutely. And then Joe, you are the co-CEO of Whalar. Whalar has obviously been super successful. I'm pretty confident that you could have shopped this around to any organization, any holding company in the universe, and probably they would have loved to have you. So what made Accenture Song the right fit on your end?
I mean, it was completely organic. Ndidi's already said, like, this is about people. When we started the journey at Whalar, we never intended to sell, and we were not shopping around to sell. There's been people knocking on the door throughout the years, especially the last 18 to 24 months. But we just weren't interested. We were in build mode with Whalar, with the Whalar group. And then as we were starting to work with each other, as Ndidi said, in market, we had a shared client that was a shared global client. And that's where it all began. So there was only one.
This feels good.
This is a 1 + 1 = 3. And you said it already. I mean, we say the same thing because we already feel like one. It isn't just what we achieve at Whalar that's so important. It's how we achieve it. It's all about the people. And that's really one of the things that sets us apart. And we felt that immediately when we were in rooms with Accenture Song.
Yeah. And you guys, I will also tell you, I think one of the things that we really believe that was important in Song and we saw truly in Whalar is that we really do believe that social is a primary engine of both cultural relevance and commerce. You know, and I think that when you think about where brands are built, where they're discovered and experienced, it is through social. And so if you are going to talk about how to actually think about marketing transformation, think about connectivity through commerce, through sales, through customer service, through loyalty, through actually driving connected experiences, you have to start with social. And so we're just really, really excited. And I think our clients are excited too. It feels like the industry is excited. So it's a good time.
How does something like this, and I'm sure, you know, you kind of can't have all the answers right now, but something like bringing in a Whalar, which like Gino mentioned, has had a ton of great success and is really like its own behemoth to begin with. So how do you
Yeah.
plan to implement like Whalar? Is it going to be like the Whalar crew is sitting over there and the Accenture Song team is over here, or is it, you know, how do you fold in such a unique and also compelling agency within the rest of the things that you're doing?
Yeah, well, you know, first I will say that Accenture has a long history of this. So, over the past 15 years, we represent over 50 different acquisitions, just so you know. And I think we truly, truly believe, and I truly believe in like what makes us great is actually our cultures within cultures within cultures that align to one vision and one mission. And that is who Song is. That's what it means to be a song in many ways. And we expect the same from a Whaler perspective. We actually think there's a value in integration. We actually believe that we need to be both independent and connected. And we have been able to do that over and over again. And you see that with our acquisitions like Work & Co. In the UK, if you think about Momentum, if you think about Droga 5, we've been able to do that over and over and over again. And it's driven growth, not just for Song, not just for Accenture, but also for our clients. So we actually are inspired by how I expect that you should feel some of the same when you're engaging with Whalar, and you should feel as if that they are powered to do even more. And you should feel the same way about Song.
I love it. I love it. So for Joe, then, help me understand this. In the creator sphere today, right now, State of the Union address style.
We're not very smart. We're not very smart. So this is we need
know what?
help understanding this.
Even in the fact that we are creators, I
Yeah.
need help.
I have no clue.
No clue. And we cover this for a living. So if we're confused, chances are some other folks watching this might be a little confused here. Where do you see the creators best fit in like the funnel? Is it awareness? Are they driving like conversion? Is this upper or lower funnel? How can we understand where creators sit here?
The first thing I do is like pose a question back: does the funnel even exist anymore
I have no
when
clue.
it comes to social commerce? And then the answer with creators is yes, 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 and hell yes. Like creators own attention, they own trust, they own action. So if you think about even us ourselves as consumers, are you buying something because of a traditional ad, or are you buying something because of a social story that's told to you by the leader of a community who happens to be a creator with influence? So the creators have a role to play in every single part of the funnel. And I do believe in many instances, they've helped collapse that funnel as well.
And then I would ask, Ndidi, yeah, please continue. Ndidi.
You know what? I would say creators have helped to collapse that funnel, but also so has technology. So,
Yeah.
you know, one of the things that's really, really interesting is, you know, I think that we often talk about like, what is actually the power of technology? Like, what does it mean for us? And it means a lot. It means it gives creators and individuals who have always been creators, who have always had vision and inspiration to build something, the power to build, the power to connect with companies and brands that maybe they never had the opportunity to do before, even though they may have been the muses. It also gives the opportunity of what technology is doing today is, you know, in the, I would say, marketing world, we've talked for decades about giving 360 view of the consumer. What does it mean to create connected consumer and customer experiences? That is not new language whatsoever, but we have not always had the technology to be able to do it. Now we are seeing those silos be broken down. There's marketing and sales have to be connected. When thinking about customer service in the last mile, it has to be connected to loyalty and actually what are you building and how are you communicating, engaging with your customers. That is what technology is allowing us to do. And at the core of that, that means that social has to be at the core. And so it's just really an exciting time in the industry. And it's, you know, the past 48 hours, as Joe was mentioning a little bit earlier, have definitely been exciting for the both of us.
Well,
Sorry.
Go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
The reaction that we've all had from the market, the industry, we knew it was going to be epic, but it's like a whole nother level. Like I can't even keep up with my phone. My computer basically stopped working Monday afternoon. Because there's just so much coming in from every single channel. And all of it is like, it's so overwhelmingly positive, and also from creators as well. Like this is a really big moment for creators because the creator economy is now on a much bigger global stage. And with Whalar, the creators are there right with us. This is going to unlock more opportunity for creators, for their businesses, for their communities. So it's just been just
What
truly
does this,
incredible.
so what does this, because I can kind of like start to see the idea, like Accenture Song, you have the technology and the data and a lot of firepower there. And Whalar, I just think has just been a powerhouse in terms of like the creativity. But what does this unlock for the creator economy overall to be able to bring these two organizations together? Because it feels bigger. It feels bigger than just this acquisition.
Joe, I will take that, and then please jump
Oh,
in, jump
yeah.
in. So, okay, when talking about the creator economy, I think, for a while we didn't even used to talk about the creator economy. So if you look at even 10 years ago or even 15 years ago, when we were just starting to have conversations around social, when you were just starting to have conversations of, hey, there's this community of people, what does this mean? So you are going to go read blogs, you are going to go look at, oh, this person is providing a perspective. Now, if you look at media, if you look at brands building, if you look at how people are thinking about just sending out information, social is at this cornerstone of it. And so when we talk about actually, Accenture has clients all over the world, and we are helping them reinvent themselves. We are helping them really think about how do you take the brands that you're creating, thinking about the conversations around how AI will completely transform how you may interact and engage with your consumers, thinking about the role of agentic commerce. What does that mean? The creator economy is going to be at the core of that. They're going to be at the core of what the future is. They're at the core of what's happening right now. So what is going to come, I would say, is where for many creators, they've always had this vision and passion to do more. And we really think that this is going to be the best platform to do that.
Love it.
I couldn't agree more. And honestly, I wonder, like, as quickly as the creator economy came, when do we stop boxing in and calling it the creator economy? It's the growth economy. And it isn't about transactional brand deals. And it's not about, this trend that we've seen of like creators becoming creative directors in-house at brands. This is about creators being able to be consultants with brands at brands, because like they're the now, they're the future. They have so much, no pun intended, influence. But that's where it gets really interesting as well. Whalar and Song coming together, we're able to offer creators as consultants in a way that nobody else can. And to be honest with you, no one else is really thinking about it, and they're definitely not talking about it.
Yeah, it's an exciting time. It feels like the momentum is shifting in a way where we're just getting like the wave is gonna be crashing. I can only imagine.
It's already here, Jack.
Yeah,
it's already here.
It is, and I think about just my own consumer behaviors and how I think about brands. A lot of time it is association factor with some sort of social content or creator content. That's where people just spend most of their time.
And I'm optimistic when you have like these organizations like Accenture or even Edelman like coming in with a CCO, a chief creator officer, like that will make the content better, I believe. Like the integration a little bit more seamless from an actual passive consumer angle. I would hope that the content's going to get better as a result of this.
Right.
More transparency, cleaner.
My one ask is just we need less of those like one-off brand deal, one video. Like,
Could not agree more.
Yeah, like the create where it's like the
One and
creators
dones.
like I went to this and it was so great. It's just like it feels more like a commercial than a piece of content.
And none of that is coming out of Whalar at the moment anyway.
Yes.
Thanks for clearing that up. That's an exclusive
that.
statement.
We don't do that.
Is not happening, and it's not going to be happening at Accenture Song either. And Didi Ote and Joe Kronk, thank you both so much. Congratulations
Thanks,
on
you
the
guys.
announcement and the well-deserved praise for a massive moment for marketing in general.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you.
A lot more to come.
Thank you.
Amazing. We'll be here for it. Thank you both so much.
Look at that.
Boom! Look at that. Look at that. Producer JR, shout out.
In 2019, Accenture acquired Drogify. And I feel like this is that next chapter.
This is the 2020s version.
Yes.
You think so? It feels like it.
It absolutely is. I mean, the largest deal in the creator economy. The creator economy is looking to be at $43.9 billion worth this year.
I think it's still under. I think that's still low. It feels it's only going to get bigger.
What's what's the term bubble mean? Can you explain that to me?
A bubble is when there's like really basically like too much hype. The hype is what's growing the bubble in the bubble. There's nothing actually inside the bubble.
Okay.
Eventually, the hype gets too big, it bursts the bubble.
So AI could be in a bubble potentially. I don't know.
The last bubble maybe we saw financial, like the 2008 recession, was because there was a lot of hype around like the markets and buying homes. You can get a mortgage, but people weren't actually paying off their mortgages.
Right.
So that's why it was like there was no actual money.
Okay.
Or substance behind it.
Your statement is, my question to you and the official statement today is creator economy in a bubble right now, yes or no, Jack?
No, because of the fact that there's actual substance behind it. Like you see the engagements, you see the views, you can actually say that there's people watching and making buying decisions based on creators themselves. I think, of course, like within the creator economy, as it gets bigger, there's just going to be a lot, like, I don't want to say bad actors, but there's just going to be stuff that doesn't work, and then there's going to be a lot of stuff that does work. Similar to advertising, as things go through changes, as people try to figure it out. So it's
Gary Vee was right all along.
There's a lot of people. I think there's a lot of people that were pretty early on the creator economy. Shout out Brett Deshevsky, New York creator economy legend. Started Creator Economy NYC in 2020.
Love that.
With events.
Man.
Early on it.
It's like buying Bitcoin.
That's an interesting poly market idea.
What's
going on with the rest of the show, Gino? Should we get into the 2-minute drill?
Yeah, well, let's get into the 2-minute drill here. Stay tuned. After the 2-minute drill, we're going to kick off some more interviews. We got Damian Escobar, CMO, and that's Chief Music Officer at Havas. We got Christine Cotter, the new MD at 360i, James Rowe, who's the president of Bolden, and Emily Silver, CMO of Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yeah, let's get into it. Heineken 6-pack. Gino, the Heineken 6-pack, of course, it only makes sense. Why would you not take a 6-pack of Heineken and replace one of the beers with a ketchup bottle? It being Heinz. Todd Kaplan posted this yesterday on LinkedIn. It took off. It's got over 1,000 likes already. I was in the comment section. My comment got 9 likes, Gino.
Nice.
Look
there
at that,
it is.
10 likes now.
Hey, Jay, are you going to like it or not?
So what do you think about this, Gino? Because it just makes sense. I think Todd kind of alluded to that. Something that's so simple, so obvious. What are your thoughts?
This is what I wrote, Jack. I wrote that I love that the market leader that is Heinz is still doing creative stuff. They can easily take a nap. They can easily fall asleep for the next 5 years and they would still be the market lead, but they're still getting after it. I love to see it.
You can't settle. We talked yesterday with the VP of marketing at Coors Light, Matt Carpenter. He told us the name of the game for Coors Light, the brand that everyone knows, is relevance. Stay relevant. Stay culturally relevant. Something like this is so smart because it's like a collab. It's the same reason why like we collab with another Instagram account that has a ton of followers that isn't necessarily mega fans of us, but maybe is mega fans of that account. Same thing. If you're a Heineken fan, you are now like, I'm going to drink, I think Heineken, I think Heinz. Can you imagine pulling up to the pregame with a 6-pack and one of them is ketchup?
I mean,
you love ketchup.
I freaking love ketchup. I go through a bottle of Heinz ketchup a week.
Are you serious?
Yes. And that's worth like 6 Coca-Colas worth of sugar, but that's not that bad.
Yeah, I don't like it. You don't want to, the last thing you need to do is look at the nutrition labels. This is a marketing. This isn't a health live show. This is a marketing show. And I would determine as my prescription on this, go drink a Heineken and have a French fry with some Heinz ketchup.
Who made this? Todd, can you let us know if this was Rethink or who came up with this, or is this on the Heineken side?
He tagged the kitchen. He didn't tag any agency in his post. I think it was the kitchen, which is the in-house Kraft Heinz agency. Gecko is doing podcasts, Gino. You sent me this headline. What does it mean?
Yes, Jack. So get this here. That's the Gecko. It's going to be appearing on, it's called, let me look it up. It's a podcast called Fud Around and Find Out. That's Ozzie Fudd's UConn basketball players podcast. How is he doing this? How are they going to do a pretty much live podcast recording? Well, the answer to that, AI.
Yeah, so this is honestly like, I saw this, and as much as I want to like disavow the use of AI for content, this to me is pretty funny. I don't hate this at all.
It would not work if it was a real human.
Yeah,
of course. And then the fact that this Gecko's been around for 30 years is pretty much your age, Jack, pushing 30.
All right, buddy, you're pushing 30.
And you're still single.
You're literally doing a live show.
I'm talking.
Pushing 30. Start a family, buddy.
Oh my gosh. I can't start a family in this economy.
So, the Gecko can do podcasts in this economy.
That's right. And so if this works, this is the testing ground here. It's trained off all the data from all the past ads, like 700 plus ads. S1 was talking about that. And if it works, you might be walking around a basketball stadium or out of home ad, and that gecko might say, "Yo, Jack."
Yeah, this is
It
this
might
is
talk to
interesting.
you. Or if you pause your Netflix show and it knows that you're watching The Last Dance
Right.
with Michael Jordan, the gecko might say, "Oh, like Jordan was the GOAT, so is Geico."
Yeah, of course.
Something like that.
This is similar. Sam's Club announced a couple of months ago that they would be doing in-store audio ads while you're shopping. That's so good.
Yeah.
I love that. Like, where can we find a place for it?
I'd like that. Sale on aisle 9.
This is going the wrong way, buddy. I think like I'm cool with it. It's a really interesting way to like get more usage and more content out of your brand mascot in a way that's tasteful. Using
Hopefully
AI.
they're not using Grok to train this thing.
Yeah,
'cause
that would
they
be
would
bad.
probably say some obscene
Yeah,
stuff
would not
and
be
ruin
good.
your whole brand.
And
over.
Ozzy Fudd, well-known athlete, she's a beast. Burger King France is now Pizza King. Gino, what's this all about?
This is fantastic. Well, I think everybody agrees that the best kind of food for any sports watching or game night, Super Bowl, whatever it is, you're usually going to order a pizza.
Pizza.
Burger King in France recognized this, and they actually played into it, and they're rebranding their Burger King France locations, or maybe it's for this spot here, to Pizza King. And then you get these little burgers in a frickin' pizza box. I love it. Why I brought this story up, Jack, I want to get your opinion on this, is the vast difference between the global campaigns. You look at US, which is Barclay OKRP, Have It Your Way, the new
Yeah,
framework.
you're the king.
You're the king.
now.
You're the king, sorry. It's just so different. I thought it's very fascinating to see the global changes there.
Yeah, but you kind of have to. You kind of have to, if, like different cultures. I mean, in France, I don't know. Like, I don't know if France is particularly interested in pizza over like the rest of the world. I figured that would be like mainly an American thing to be like pizza is our favorite meal, not as much in France, but also I don't know that much. But assuming that there is the insight behind it, I imagine that would be the case. It's pretty funny. It reminds me of White Castle crave cases. It reminds me of how people put a bunch of sushi in pizza boxes.
Yes.
But pretty funny. Also, like a little. You wouldn't, not necessarily the safest brand play, right? Like, why would you pass up the opportunity to have people walking around with the Burger King branding? But it's fun, it's cool. I love seeing this stuff when it's different. Don't play it safe. Do something different, interesting, and cool, and trust that the audience will get it.
Totally. And I also like that they had a little "was up" reference in it too.
Oh, there you go. That's why you got to watch it. The "Was Up." It stands the test of time. I've been hearing more and more of "Was Up." Burger King France is now Pizza King. I don't mind it, especially going to the World Cup. It is an interesting, different way in than your typical commercial ad
Shout out
spot.
to the French.
Shout out to the French. Miller Lite's Fix Pack. You thought we were done talking about six packs. You thought the Heineken was the only six-pack innovation that we would talk about today. I'm ready to sound the alarm on the six-pack wars, Gino. Miller Lite fires the first shot.
June 21st is Father's Day. Instead of getting your dad a grill, spatula, or golf balls, you can get your father a Miller Lite Fix Pack here. And what this is they have these random broken items that will literally be sent to your father because studies show dads want to spend time with their sons or daughters for their gift here. That's like 60% of them. And then the other thing is a lot of people go to their fathers for first repair advice. It's combining those two insights together. You get something broken, you do it with your dad. It's a nice activity, and you get a rebate for Miller Lite.
Oh, okay, very cool. Got to toss that in at the end. The Fix Pack. So yeah, the idea, I see, like, I can see this because you want to fix something, you have a beer while you fix it. You know, like people go work on their cars outside. You got to have a, Miller Lite. Miller Lite kind of would you consider Miller Lite a working man's beer? I would.
Absolutely. South side of Chicago. That's where I'm thinking. That's where I'm at right now. Like Palos, Palos Heights with Brendan. After work, getting a Miller Lite.
Yeah,
That's
you frame a couple houses and you get it for your blue collar father who maybe works
for sure.
Works a real job, unlike us, and you sit down and you build some stuff, fix some stuff, and you have a Miller Lite.
Back to Heineken. Where are you at when you're drinking Heineken?
At a bar.
Well, mentally.
I'm in Amsterdam personally because I'm well traveled, and Heineken is the beer in Amsterdam. But yeah, Heineken's not not a working man's
No,
beer.
to me, it's literally a soccer, like football
Yeah,
beer. It's
for
like
sure.
people
Europe.
drinking that in Europe, watching the game.
Yeah, unlike Miller Lite. Miller Lite is
And they
a
don't
very
even
like
touch it.
American
Yeah.
American beer.
Oh, yeah.
LinkedIn's new creator marketplace, big news, Gino, just broke, and it's LinkedIn wants to own B2B creator discovery with their new creator marketplace. Shout out Digiday for this article and Crystal who wrote it. What do you got here?
Listen, it makes sense to me. That's really my only note here, that you can now, if you're a creator or you're a brand, you can go to this marketplace to find B2B creators here. This has probably been in the works for some time now. It just makes sense for LinkedIn to put its stamp on that, like the owner of the B2B creator space. And that's what they're trying to achieve.
The last thing, I mean, the only thing that's in their way now is if it actually works. It is kind of, it sounds nice. It's just a matter of like, will this actually work? And how it's going to work, marketers can search for relevant creators by topic as well as view creator cards, showing their followers, post volume, social engagement, alongside recent content samples. So like a little bit of a sneak preview. Interesting. They include followers. People keep talking about the follower is dead, but clearly marketers and brands want to know, and it matters for them.
It might be it's probably views and followers that they're still looking at here, at least in the B2B space.
Interesting for LinkedIn, I guess maybe followers matter more. LinkedIn is allegedly supposed to be like this algorithm where it is very much relevance based. It's not as much like time based. That's why you see something from 2 weeks ago. But if it's like a topic, an evergreen topic that LinkedIn thinks applies to you, that's why they'll show it to you 2 or 3 weeks later. So it is, the connections matter a lot on LinkedIn because it's all about like your professional network.
Yeah.
Typically people would follow or connect with creators that are within their industry.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense that they would also be like connecting with them.
It's so important. It's like if you're looking at the platform, understand the algorithm to understand how the measurement works and like which analytics. So it's algorithm and then analytics.
Can LinkedIn do it? Can we really make B2B creators happen? Can it be something that's as big as just like the larger creator economy, like we've got going with Whalar and Accenture Song, with the biggest creator economy acquisition ever
of all time?
We'll see. Gino, let's move on with the show. That was a 2-minute drill. Before we get into our interview with Damien Escobar, who's an Emmy Award-winning violinist and the new Chief Music Officer at Havas, a special shout out to our presenting sponsor, Rothmans. Rothmans is a 4th-generation, family-owned, independent menswear store celebrating 100 years in New York City. Their core belief is that shopping should feel human,
like
collaborative, and fun. No AI here when you go into the Rothman store, Gino. It's perfect for people that walk in not knowing what they want and leave feeling like the best version of themselves. Sometimes fashion can be intimidating, but when we walked into the store, the stress went away. The crew is amazing. Where can people find Rothman?
You got to check out Rothmans for all your big life moments, from first dates to weddings to everything in between. You're coming on a live show, you're going to Cannes.
Right.
Go check them out in one of their New York City area locations. We are Team Union Square flagship store, although all locations are great. And if you go into store and you mention Breaking and Entering, you tell them Breaking and Entering sent you, you're going to get 10% off. And if you want to order online, use code BREAKING10 at checkout. That's code BREAKING10.
All right, let's get on with the show. Gino, Havas launches VOLYUM, a record label that reimagines the brand-artist collaboration, a big move for the holding company. And with that, the person running it is Damien Escobar. Of course it is, Emmy Award-winning violinist. Let's bring him in. Damien, how's it going?
What's up, guys? Jack, Gino, how you guys doing?
It's an absolute pleasure, and appreciate you coming on. Let's just jump into it. How did this come about? How did you end up in this situation? Obviously, amazing career as an artist, but you've clearly been able to use that to now be put in this position where you're running the show. Like, you're bringing music and culture to Havas and the agency. How did this all come about?
I mean, look, I tell people I've been in marketing a long time. As an artist, especially being a violinist, you have to be able to tell a story in order to break through, right? So being on this side, on the brand side, when it comes to storytelling, and I've been on this side for about 6 years. And I think the thing that was most intriguing to me with coming on this side was how deprioritized music is, right? In advertising. And for me, being on the other side of the record side and looking at how music impacts people, because obviously as an artist, you see a real world. I'm like, guys, we're missing an opportunity here, right? So I spent 6 years just creating a rationale and understanding brands. We know what brands you got to be able to quantify with data. What problem are we solving, right? Like we have to be able to do it in a way that's actually going to, solve a problem A, B, what's the real ROI? And when we think about ROI on culture, the number, you can't really quantify it with a number. I mean, culture is everything. So this has been something when we look at volume. Volume has been something that's been in the works for the past couple of years. And I mean, guys, the creative space is massive, right? So Volume's job is really to help brands move past traditional sponsorships and advertising by really creating opportunities to collaborate directly with artists and creators. Now, it goes beyond just traditional sponsoring culture from the sidelines. We see that playbook all day. Brands to win in today's landscape, you got to participate in it. And brands we know can't create culture, but you have to partner with the talent that is actually creating culture. So the idea here is consumers, we know, spend more time with artists, creators, entertainment, and communities than they do with advertising. And brands are shifting from interruption in this model to more of a participation model. And culture is a new distribution. We know communities outlast campaigns, and creator influence drives behavior. And entertainment is that thing that we're betting on that's really going to earn that attention. So it's a new model that, for me as an artist, this is something that's going to help solve a big problem for artists. Right now, artists, they sold us this pipe dream of be independent, you can do it on your own. But the reality is, sure, we have distribution, but now you have to pay an arm and a leg to be able to get your record in front of your million followers. Independent artists don't have that kind of revenue, right? So for artists, what we're solving on the art front is you have the opportunity to now get your music heard by the masses because we're now partnering you with brands and we're plugging you into media buys with brands. And for brands, now you don't have to be the last one to the party. We see a lot of brand partners reacting to talent on the back end. And by then it becomes cost prohibitive. They can't afford it. So now we're bringing everybody in the model a lot sooner to co-create and really participate in our equity together. So it's something that we're really excited about.
Love this.
Yeah.
And I just want to do a note here. Damien's like the coolest guy because I worked at Havas for a couple years, and like his name was always talked about. So I want to give you some love there, Damien.
That's confirmed. That's an exclusive report right there,
sure.
Damien.
I think
so that's huge.
we got to get our
Insider
hands
scoop.
on the holiday video that you sent out. I think it was probably 2022.
Oh, yeah.
He was
That's right.
crushed the violin.
Of course.
It was awesome.
Appreciate
You know, I what you were saying, because it's so interesting nowadays that I see it all the time on TikTok, where you have a musician or an artist that gets discovered because they just put out their own music on TikTok, and then it's like they can really gain a following on TikTok, but it always feels like they hit the ceiling where they can't really push through to get to the masses outside of just their followers, doing cover songs, things like that. So to me, Damien, it feels like that. I don't know, like I experience it. I imagine you all are experiencing that too. Can you explain maybe what that means behind the scenes and not just what we see as consumers?
I mean, you got to realize, Jack, it's every day there's a new TikTok phenomenon.
Right.
Like you can have energy now, but we see how quick we move on just as people and as a culture, right? So whereas you have energy right now, if you don't know how to necessarily quantify it as an artist, and that's just on the record side and entertainment side, there's no more artist development because now you can sing in your bathroom for a day and you can blow up overnight.
Right.
What do you do with it? Right? Like you don't know. You're just a regular guy or a regular kid singing in the in your bathroom or your bedroom. Now we're taking this talent and we're actually going to develop them. We're actually bringing artist development back. The essence, the roots. The goal here is to be able to not only put artists in a system that can work for brands, but put artists in a system to where they can actually have a career that goes beyond a viral moment.
I love it.
Right? So and connecting them with brands that actually believe in what they're doing.
So talk to us about the role of Virgin Music Group and working with Volume. How does this, how do you delegate the responsibilities between this partnership?
I mean, well, Virgin is an incredible partner. Virgin is the largest independent label services manager in the world, right? And they're in the Universal Music Group umbrella. So Virgin comes on board and they give us that traditional label services model. So we're talking playlisting, global distribution, promotional firepower, everything that we don't necessarily specialize in here at Havas. On the Havas end, we can do everything else from the marketing, the media, the PR, the social, the platform, right? So it's really, a match made in Havas, if you will, right? It's getting two sides of the coin actually working more strategically together. Yeah, so we're really excited. We got a really great team, and shout out to the leadership at Havas that believed in this model and yeah, helped bring it to life.
Yeah, it just makes a lot of sense because if you just think about where attention is and brands wanting to participate in culture and not interrupt it, and you just for so long, I don't know, Damien, I'm interested to hear your opinion because we hear just all these different horror stories of like the label, and it's like they owned all the music, and it just ended up being a bad deal. Do you think that this kind of helps to potentially solve for some of the things that maybe were a little toxic about other labels or some of the stories that we hear about?
I mean, I could just tell you, you won't hear about any stories like that from us. I don't think this is going to be a big solve. The record business has had a dark cloud for a very long time, and I think for the longest time now, we see the model has moved away from that because it's not necessarily about owning someone's art anymore.
Right.
Because the DTC model is alive and thriving, owning someone's art you can't do it anymore. Artists are coming with equity. So it's not like you're developing someone from scratch. So I can say from our piece, this is not a model where we're bringing people in and say, we're owning your publishing, we're owning your masters. This is not that at all, right? This is truly about great music. And this is not jingles, even though jingles are the new singles. These are not jingles that we're putting out in the world. These are real records, right? These are real records that's going to get real radio airplay. That's going to live in culture.
Yeah.
Wait, how does this help me understand this? Because what was the ownership of the masters was like an issue with labels and artists, correct? I guess what does the role for brands coming in? How does that alleviate some of those issues that happened in the past?
Well, the thing is, I mean, think about a brand's model. Brands are not looking to sell music; they're looking to sell their product. So a brand doesn't necessarily have interest in the actual tangible IP, which is music. Music should stay with the creator. For the brand, they want the influence, they want the culture, they want the reach. They want to partner with talent that works well for their brand, right? And they want to do it in a way that they're not breaking the bank. So they can actually, if it works, you want to be able to make it a system versus a one-off, right? So, and that's something else that Volume solves. We want to be able to get brands out of the one-off business. I think if you have a beautiful music platform, like we see Gap killing it. Gap found something that worked. They moved into the movement space and it's working. So they're iterating it, right? But how do we actually duplicate that? How do we make that something that's a lot more tangible without having to overpay for creators? So when we partner with talent, it's not necessarily about owning their IP because we know brands don't really care about the music IP. The cool thing for brands is instead of paying $1 million for a music license, if you're a part of actually cultivating that work, you get to use it in your creative. So you're saving money on that end. And when we look at things like media buy, now we're giving brands an opportunity to actually use that media buy in a different way versus just, hey, let me pump $10 million behind paid on TikTok and Meta. Now you can actually put it behind that media, those media dollars behind a full 360 campaign and program. That's going to work a lot harder for you. Now we're talking about tour support. You get to show up in places you wouldn't typically be able to show up at. It just changes the game and gets brands into different conversations in rooms that they weren't allowed.
Yeah, I imagine it just kind of helps a brand move faster too, because like there's nothing worse than when you just see a partnership, especially with like a musician or someone that's so mainstream, feels so obvious. The cool stuff, to go back to like the Gap example, the cool thing is when you see someone that's just about to blow up, but you still feel that connection to that artist because you know that like they haven't been reached to the masses yet. There's something cool about being right at that precipice. So, Damien, I wonder, like, can you talk to us about like the process of trying to find these emerging talents and how you would go about that?
Yeah, I mean, we operate in the traditional sense, right? So Volume, the label, sits inside of Havas's sonic marketing agency that I lead, Art of Sound, right? So at Art of Sound, we have a full team. We have A&R. We have the traditional kind of functions of a record label, from A&R to marketing, you name it, we have it. They're searching for this talent. We just launched the platform Volume on Instagram. Like, we're showing up where creators are. And we're just putting out the CTAs. I mean, look, this is our first CTA is going to come up probably later this week. We're doing a showcase in New York City. So it's really about getting in the community and being a part of the community. I mean, I know the community because I am the community, right? Like, I'm an artist first before anything. So And understanding the way we want to be spoken to, understanding the way we want to partner with brands, and just showing up in that way and communicating in that way. So we have a great team here. You know, we're expanding. This year for us is all about learning. It's test and learn. Let's learn. Let's take some key findings, and let's go into 2027 with a bang. But this year is all about getting the model in, seeing what it is, getting some brands. We have a lot of brands that reach out and are excited, getting them into this funnel, and just really creating some dope shit at the end of the day.
I believe it. I trust the process. I think it's amazing, and I think that it kind of signals a lot when you think about Havas like putting the investment into this and prioritizing it. It can kind of tell you like what the strategies are these days for brands, at least, and what I imagine like brand demand is. And I guess that would be my last question: is this something that you're hearing more from brands about? They're just kind of like, we need to get into culture either quicker or deeper. What do you hear from the brand side?
I mean, that's exactly it, right? Like, the word culture is buzzword bingo in our business.
Mm-hmm.
Every brand wants to be in culture, be in culture. I mean, you don't belong in culture. You have to earn the right to play in culture. And the best way to do that is to partner with those who create culture, right? So this is really about getting them into the conversation sooner, because when you can do that authentically, now you earn your right to be there. Sure, you're co-creating and you both are borrowing equity from each other to create that foundation. Now you have the right to be there, and you can iterate, and that's when you get like really great brands like Doves and the Gaps, right? This is when you're moving consumers over to fandom, and that's the true unlock. When you can make a consumer a fan of your brand, you're not just selling to them, but they can see themselves in your product. You won.
Yeah.
And that's the goal here. And branded entertainment is the future. We see it. Branded entertainment is the future, and VOLYUM is here to answer that call.
Boom, love it. Gino, any other questions from you?
No other questions from me. You guys crushed it. Thank you so much, Damien, for coming on. Wishing you guys at VOLYUM all the best. Thank you.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Damien Escobar, legend. What a legend. That was sweet. That was because does it make sense to you? Can you see like
what options do we
connection?
have? What options do we have? We have music, you have live events, you have live sports. That's culture. Like, what else is there?
Fashion, the art, just the arts in general.
Hollywood, like kind of like
Zoran Mamdani to me is culture. Like, I don't want to say politics, but like him as an individual.
Politics is
these
culture,
individuals.
maybe. There's not too many things. You could kind of figure out which vertical you want to tap into to break into culture.
And for Havas to just have this,
one of
to
those
have
pillars.
Damien in the building, someone who has actually been on the other side is so rare. Because you see it all the time. A lot of like creators want to create their own agencies, or celebrities want to create their own agencies. But it's like, do they really have the marketing chops? Are they really in it to do that, or are they going to like kind of shift it off? Damien to me is like a perfect encapsulation of someone who is a marketer that just so happened to start his career being an Emmy Award-winning violinist.
Totally. And I see similarities too with Translation being founded by Steve Stout with United Masters. They have that music, they have that play as well. So I think they're cooking on it too from the music angle. So two big players now, Havas and Translation, in my opinion, from the music agency world.
Just want to check in with the chat. Alec Vaden said, invite the Geico Gecko onto the show. Alec Vaden is in the LinkedIn comment section. He wants
That is the best idea.
That's a great idea. Alec Vaden, shout out. He's a future account manager.
Oh, where at?
So give Alec a look if you're hiring for account managers. So there's BK is from Tejas in the YouTube comment section said, does anybody remember when Wendy's released a 5-track EP in 2018? Do you remember that?
No, I do not.
No, I don't, but it sounds like something that would happen. I actually kind of heard about, someone was talking about this recently, but a 5-track EP from Wendy's.
Hopefully it was a diss track.
It's each major. It's like McDonald's, A&W.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Someone should steal that idea from Gino. Patrick Herbert's in the YouTube comment section. Branded entertainment is the future, is something as a marketer I'm excited for and agree with. But as a human who has seen dystopian cyberpunk films like Blade Runner, it worries me.
Oh.
Fair. Right? You got to make sure. Well, to me, that's why people like Damien exist, to be kind of like the middle person to help protect the talent, and also protect the brands.
What? I have never seen this movie. What happens?
In Blade Runner,
Yeah.
it's just like a future dystopian, like psyop.
And that was
thing.
because of branded entertainment went too far?
Well, it's just like what happens when people try to take too much control over culture and what's happening. Yes, the plot of Blade Runner is that they create a mini drama series.
Well, let's do a little throwback history lesson here. Dove actually created the soap operas.
Right.
Right? Like, so brands have always kind of funded our entertainment. It's just looking a little bit different today. And like all the TV, the shows that you watch, is just the means and the vehicles to which you are entertained, I believe, are changing. That's my take. Like,
yeah, instead of commercials, instead of like putting a commercial in the middle of the video, it's just like this is presented by, this is funded by, which I think is like better viewer experience in my opinion.
Yeah, I think
I'd rather do
brands
that
know
for
now.
it.
It's like you got to let the creators, like we talk about it every single day. Every single day we talk about let the creators breathe and
Yeah, let them do what they do, and just you get to borrow some of that. But if you try to interrupt it, then it's a zero for everyone. Gino, before we get into our next interviews, which are going to be fantastic, by the way, because we have Christine Cotter coming on in about 10 or so minutes to talk about how she is going to be leading 360i, which is back. You said from under the grave.
Under the grave.
It was gone for about 4 years, and they're bringing it back as like this boutique social digital shop to help compete with some of the other boutique indie agencies. They're doing really well in the new business front for social brand clients. And then we also are going to have on James Rowe, who's the president of Bolded, which sits under OBB Media. It's their branded content studio that just worked with Dick's and Adidas. And we're going to have the CMO of Dick's as well, Emily Silver, to talk about the strategy behind all that. But right now, Coinbase has launched a video game, Gino, and we're going to play it. Coinbase put out, can you explain kind of what the video game is?
For sure. We can, I don't know if we want to show my screen, but Gareth Kay, VP of Brand at Coinbase, actually this morning posted that now you can play your way out of their system. This has been your way out has been Coinbase's kind of brand platform now for the past couple of months working with Isle of Any. Was there anybody else besides Isle of Any?
I don't know.
I don't know either. But working with Isle of Any, independent ad agency here, a couple spots, really good craft. And then today they say that Coinbase has worked on a partnership with Riot Games. So I'm going to play this game now.
Yeah, this is Gino.
What's up?
I'm in the game right now.
Oh, okay.
When you get over here, and it's pretty fun. There's a leaderboard. The way the game works, Gino, is you got to get the like spaces to line up perfectly. Are you playing it right now?
Okay, yeah. I'll play it right. So I'm playing this right now. I think I got to sign in real quick. Okay, I already played this. I think I have the all-time score here. Not gonna lie.
We'll see about that. I mean, I love a good video game. I could see myself playing this game for years, Gino. It's kind of got that old Tecmo feel, you know, like old school video game, your way out of their system. And of course the game runs itself. Oh, what happened?
I just did it first try.
First try. So did you get a high score? What's the high score, by the way?
I don't look at the score. I just keep going.
Coinbase. Doing cool stuff, Gino. I'll show my bias right now. They do a lot of cool stuff, so of course we get excited about that. They made a video game. Can you imagine? You just make a video game. Is it going to work? Maybe. It's going to get a lot of emails because you have to put in your email address. 2 for 2. Shout out to Gino. But you have to put in your email address. So of course Gino can expect some Coinbase emails in the very near future, I would imagine, or at least some targeted ads. That's kind of, we're thinking about the funnel. This game kind of looks like a funnel. If you're thinking about your way out of the funnel or your way into the funnel, if you're going to be purchasing or signing up for Coinbase, Gino. How's it going?
I'm 3 for 3 right now. I think I might have just flubbed it here. This is fun, though. I'm not going to lie. I'm having a good time.
So, Gino, the idea of a video game, the idea of making a video game, do you think it's worth it? Do you think it's worth it to go through the process? They worked like with a legitimate...
Yeah, Riot Games they worked with. I feel like that's like a very well-known...
Riot Games
Valorant
is legit.
League? Is that what it's called?
Well, this is a Coinbase thing. Like if they're gonna do it all the way. Remember the video game looking campaign that they dropped around, what was it, the Emmys that they dropped it, Gino, where it looks like it's a video game, but they actually shot it in real life.
Yep.
But they just made it look like a video game.
Yep.
Your way out of their system. The whole idea is like you're an NPC right now if you're using traditional financial institutions, but with Coinbase, you get out of their system. How is Gino doing on the game right now?
I'm kind of sucking right now.
But that's it, Gino. Any other words from you on the game, your experience?
I think all of it is a part of the creative platform. It wasn't just a random thing, Jack. Your way out of the system. You're literally trying to escape this weird maze thing, and it's interactive. You hit all the right points, Jack. I just want to reiterate that this is all a part of the campaign. It's working for me. Let us know in the YouTube comments if you're playing. If you want to beat my high score, let me know, and if you like it.
Well, I'm gonna get out of this system right now. Right now, I'm in that universe. I will be relinquishing myself, enjoying the live show. Thanks for tuning in to the green screen for the B&E breakdown.
I'm done playing this. I do like this game.
Catford, Joe Staples.
Listen, yeah, Gareth K, Catford, and Joe Staples. Joe Staples, if you know, came from Mother. Before that, worked at Wyden for a long time here. He is a creative genius. The whole team seems like they're hitting their strides here since hiring Gareth, since hiring Joe Staples.
In a tough category that a lot of people have a lot of negative sentiment.
What's a good football quote, coaching quote of it's like inch by inch, like you just go day by day, you could build.
Greg Guidotti, the CMO at Ferrara Candy, said household something, it's one household at a time.
Yeah.
One household at a time for getting people to be interested in your product. That's Greg Guidotti.
And I think they get that too. Like they understand that this is a
long game.
A long game. That's why they have such a strong platform right now they can iterate off of.
And
like create a video game because you have the foundation.
And that's why you make those big hires, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's some serious investment. Like those are big time free agent signings.
Yeah.
And that means that you're in it for the long haul if you're bringing on these people to be like, let's build a creative team.
It seems like they're having fun.
Gino, what's going on with the rest of the show for the people that are tuning in? We're going to get it going, moving on with the rest of the show. But exciting news that just hit the wire this morning, right?
Yes, Jack. This is big time here. And actually how they released it is interesting too. However, here's what we need to know. DENTSU's 360i is back. It's been away. It's been under the grave for 4 years, and it resurrects today. And they're really kind of changing the way that it's operating. It's smaller, it's more social, it's more nimble, dynamic. If you think about some of the key winners today, outside of the holding companies, are those independent, boutique, nimble agencies. So this is DENTSU's kind of shot at those and to really move quickly.
Super interesting to be like, we're going to, on purpose, make it like a small team. I think there's only like 4 people that are going to be on it. And it's led by Christine Cotter, who comes over from Ogilvy to be the managing director. She's going to join us in a second here. And she's here right now. Let's just bring her in. Yeah. Why are we going to talk about it when Christine can just talk about it with us? Christine, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
So exciting, drinking from a fire hose, but it is all very, very fun.
Congratulations on
drinking from a fire hose.
Yeah.
So Gino, kick us off.
Yeah, I think, how do we start from here? First off, did you know that they launched the press release on Substack? And I believe you wrote that, Christine, so nice job. I thought that was fun. Why launch it on Substack? How does this make sense for this launch?
Yeah, for sure. It makes sense in a few different ways. A big part of the ethos of bringing back 360i is we can't sell something to our clients that we don't live and breathe as a brand ourselves. So if we're talking about the value of search and social, how you're native to communities, how you're really fostering this ecosystem from start to finish, it wouldn't really be authentic for us to issue a traditional press release and go about things in the traditional way. Substack is so huge right now. We already have a community from our social first newsletters that we have been putting out under the DENTSU name. So it just made a lot of sense for us to show up in the same ways that we're going to show up for our clients in a way that's new and a little bit more personal and gives people a peek behind the curtain of what we're building.
Isn't that nice? Like, that all makes sense to me.
Well,
I think that's a good move.
You remember, when we went full time on breaking and entering, we created a press release, but nobody picked it up, so we just posted it as a link. We just posted it on LinkedIn.
Right.
And
we started ending up creating content on LinkedIn.
Yeah, exactly. So I get it. I can resonate with it, Christine. So what drew you to this? Because I think in your LinkedIn post you said it was an immediate yes for you when you heard that 360i was coming back. What's drawing you to this specific role and opportunity?
Yeah, for sure. So I grew up, my entire almost 20 years career has been in social media. So I very much remember the original 360i. I still remember the day of Dunk in the Dark when they really invented real-time social media marketing and changed it for us all. And I was quite sad when I heard that it was going away, because it's a brand that I really felt was a disruptor and something that clients could really go to for a specific need and a specific outcome. And so when I heard that they were really revitalizing it and centering it in social across the entire ecosystem, I think the value proposition that I think is really exciting and something I believe in and that clients are going to believe in is we're giving them a new choice in the marketplace that they haven't had before. If you're going to hire a social agency, you kind of have two big choices. You go with one of the agencies in one of the holdcos, one of the networks, or you go independent, you go boutique, you go specialty. And there are pros and cons to making either of those decisions that clients have to make every day. But the new 360i is living exactly at that center. So we are building a SWAT team, if you will, of specialists that are agile, that are entirely specialty in social, that work on a different commercial model, that work on a different operational model to compete with those smaller specialty shops. But by sitting in DENTSU, you get all of the added benefits of being part of a massive network, all of the data, all of the technology, all of the connections to media, all of the scale and power, but you get the trade-offs in between. So those two things combined, I really feel passionately that this is exactly what the marketplace needs right now. And I think a lot of clients are going to see that and want to be a part of it too.
Interesting. So you're managing director at 360i and head of social innovation at DENTSU. If I were to be hired within the DENTSU ecosystem, I'm working on 360i. Is this something that I am dedicated to full-time as an employee?
No, you're not. So the way that we're going to staff it is actually very intentional. And again, I think a differentiator for us. We're bringing in a core leadership team across the key functions that we need to service clients from end to end. So myself serving as the managing director, we have strategy leadership. We're bringing in media activation leadership, creative leadership, and measurement leadership. So those are the people that will run the entire show across all of our clients to keep the leadership expensive levels really lean and focused. All of the staffing will be pulled from the existing DENTSU creative and media teams, specifically selected to that brand, that project, and what they are trying to achieve. So in a world where we get a client that is super focused on FIFA, we're not just pulling from a bench of people that have availability. We're going to look throughout the entire network to say who has the right skill set in social creator community, plus an affinity to FIFA and fandom and soccer. And that's going to be the SWAT team that comes in for that project. But that won't be the same team if we take on a fashion brief or if we take on an insert other thing brief. So it's really combining specialty in social and influence with fandom and a community up approach so that we can pick the right players for each project, haloed by that leadership team that's consistent.
The consistent
Well,
leadership
that's the that's what I think is so interesting. At somewhere like DENTSU, where you just have so much creative talent, it really becomes a game of like, how do you best put that creative talent to work and putting them in positions to succeed? And something like this makes a ton of sense, where you're almost, Christine, explain, like, help me understand this too. Like, you're almost creating on purpose a little bit of like a silo, right? Because you kind of want that boutique feel. You don't want like everyone's hands to be in it, because that's where, maybe you lose some speed. So Christine, can you explain that to me? Like, leveraging the creative talent, but making sure it still feels like a more boutique experience for the brand that you're working with.
Yeah, for sure. So the kind of boutique or specialty is really rooted in how we're operating differently from a commercial model standpoint and an operating model standpoint. So if you come into a 360i as a client, we are operating on a fixed fee model, which basically says, you tell us what you need, we give you a total price, and we don't waste our time with all of the in-between noodling of what the exact staff plan is and how much we're spending on tools and how much the out-of-pocket is for creators. We skip that entire step. And what that does is it gives us the flexibility to really focus on what this brand needs as an outcome. So we can switch up in the middle of a project and say, we originally thought that we were going to need 2 creative teams internally at DENTSU, but as we're getting through it, we actually want to shift that over to bring in external creator influencers to do the work. That would usually in a traditional environment require a change order, require a change of scope, and really slow down the process. So we really want to be, like I said, focused on the outcomes for the brand. Let us worry about how the sausage is made and get to those outcomes faster. So that's one kind of point of differentiation between how the two work. And then second is the operating model. So we're not putting together teams that are an EVP and a GCD team and 4 content creators and 6 layers of strategy. We're cutting all of that out to really be these focused, agile teams that wear multiple hats, that are willing to get into the weeds, that have that kind of entrepreneurial mindset of, I know that you do this skill set, but you don't have time right now. Let me jump in to help help you and work in that kind of more agile and really brand focused environment. And then lastly, it's all on AI. So we're not going to do the typical process of give us a brief, we're going to go away, we're going to create content for 6 weeks, we're going to schedule a formal IR where we go through a 30-page deck, and then you have a week to provide comments and feedback. None of that is the way 360i is operating. All of that will be done through our tools and technologies. We're going to be iterating content. You're going to get new content from us every few days. We're going to expect our clients to work on those platforms, be just as fast as we are. And if we get into a situation where we're noodling content beyond a round 2, we're scrapping it and starting over. So it's just a different mentality of how you're working. And that's going to be the kind of differentiator of the types of clients that come in through the door of 360i or the types of clients that come in through the door of DENTSU, where we offer a plethora of social and influence opportunities and skills. It's just their ways of working and the commercials that'll kind of dictate that.
Fascinating. It kind of it feels more familiar to us in like the way that we create content, like as a really small team that like doesn't, we, because of the resourcing that we have, we kind of operate in the way where like you just move really, really fast.
So fast
to go.
3 times the speed of culture.
300 times the speed of culture.
I got a question.
Yeah.
So I believe this is like you're moving over from Ogilvy to this job, and like I think what I'm hearing is the importance of knowing who's within DENTSU. So like, what are the processes to identify somebody's skill set? Like, not knowing that Jack is really into Broadway plays potentially, like how would you uncover that, like within the systems there, especially being new to the role?
Yeah, I love that. So there's 2 main things that we're doing kind of in parallel. DENTSU as a whole is like a whole work stream around skills and upskilling and getting more of a handle on staffing across the board, what people's majors are, what their minors are, completely separate than what 360i was going to do. And we're actually working with that resource team to layer in these kind of things of fandoms, communities that you're a part of, brands that you've worked on that you would love to work on again, categories that you're particularly skilled in. So we're doing that at an enterprise level to get the lay of the land. And I think what we're really going to rely on too is hand raisers, right? I think that a lot of people in the organization, we still have a lot of people that were legacy 360i that then moved into DENTSU Creative or DENTSU Media and are still here. I'm hopeful that a lot of them are going to be like, I would love to get back in that model and get involved, like tap me. But we're also completely aware that this isn't the way that everyone wants to work. And we're not going to force people into it if they're not the kind of right vibe and temperament and they really like want to join us and be a part of it. So it's kind of that skills analysis, getting the hand raisers, and then eventually identifying the gaps and working across media and creative to make incremental hires as necessary to fill them.
I like it.
I want to ask about the ideal client almost. There obviously has to be a business case here where you're thinking about, what kind of brand are you really solving for? Can you just give me a sense? It doesn't have to be like super exact, but I want to get a sense of what solution and what problem a brand might have that 360i would solve.
Yeah, for sure. So we think that we would be great for a lot of like D2C clients, challenger brands that have like a middle kind of budget, that have the operational flexibility to move at our speed so that they can kind of match us and our desires to move fast, break shit, learn, and optimize. We think that some bigger brands can definitely work within the 360i model, either if they have specialty projects, like if you're launching a really culture first product and you want it to go to market in a different way, that's a perfect thing to feed into 360i. Any brands that are having the conversations that we see in the media all the time about shifting massive parts of their budget over from traditional creative into creator and community and social, they're brands that we can really bring on. But we're going to have kind of a DENTSU-wide kind of decision tree as we're triaging products to say, here's our recommendation of where your brand would fit within DENTSU, but you can come in any door that you like as long as our ambitions match and we're all pushing in the same direction.
Yeah, match my freak, essentially. That's essentially where we're at. That to me obviously makes sense. If you're, I don't know, I just think that there's something about even just like the fixed fee model alone, because of like to be able to, take that burden off the brand, especially for budgeting. Like Christine, give us a view into that side of this world that maybe people don't really understand as much. The idea of the fixed fee model, it's in the headline of the Adweek article, so clearly that's a big deal for brands and clients. I mean, how much does it matter, especially when you're thinking about these big budget shifts that you're talking about?
Yeah, I think it's a few different things. First, it just sets up a different way of working where we're able to get rid of all the operational complexity, which is something that we're hearing from clients. Clients think it's hard to work with a lot of agencies, and it's not even related to the work. It's all the steps to get to the work, right? Like we spend so much time on the operational setup and noodling the language in the SOW and fighting for budget splits between creative and media and out of pocket. And this eliminates all of that. So that's kind of number one. The second thing that we're really focused on from a 360i perspective, we want brands to tell us their challenges. We want brands to tell us their goals and what they're trying to achieve. We will then tell them the best places and spaces throughout social to do it. So while a brand could easily come to us and brief us on a TikTok specific project, or I need a social playbook, or I need a brand ambassador program, we're happy to have that discussion. But our pushback to them is going to be like, great, we can do that. But what's your challenge? What are you trying to achieve? What's your goal? Because once we get into the kind of noodling of that, maybe what you're looking for isn't the right solution. And then we can get back again to the fixed fee model of then how we deliver it to be able to fit and flex as we go versus being beholden to a document that makes things more complex. So it's a little bit of those two things. We can move faster, we can get to the work, it gives us the flexibility, and it allows us to focus on what the outcomes are versus all of the kind of ticks and ties of how it's made.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, this is sounding really good to me. I just got to ask, like, is there anything that you're nervous about or like might worry you or like making this transition or with the model at all? Like, would love to hear what could be.
I think, when I was interviewing, like my LinkedIn said, like the minute that they NDA'd me and told me about this, I was like, if you can really do this, this is going to be huge. But I pressure tested throughout the entire process the abilities that I will have to really be able to do it. And I think even in the 8 days that I've been here, like everything that I've brought up as something we should be pushing for, something we should be changing, something that we should be implementing has been met with a yup, let's go from the highest levels of the organization. So I think that my nervousness is just around, we have the vision, we know how to do it. Now we have to move. But I think DENTSU making this announcement and making this a thing and putting the full weight of the network behind it gives me a lot of confidence that they are in a world where they're getting rid of agencies, in the world of mass kind of either acquiring a new brand because you don't have the skill set or just sunsetting it into a creative offering. I think that it's really brave and shows where they're going, that they're willing to invest in this, make it a big thing and support it along the way. So initial nerves have been tempered, but we'll talk about it in 6 months.
Yes, of course. Well, yeah, it's great. And obviously on the, change is a good thing right now. And I think this makes a lot of sense, especially, I don't know, I always get caught up in like the fixed fee thing because I just think it just creates way more opportunity for creatives to spend time being creative and less time worrying about timesheets. So
how many hours do I have on this project? It doesn't matter. Make
totally,
what you got to make.
100%. Well, Christine, thank you so much for joining. Congratulations on the new role. Excited to see the way that 360i is transforming the game, and we'll be following along. But thank you so much, Christine.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Christine Connor. It's a fixed fee world, I think that's where we're headed.
I like the fixed fee world.
I think, I remember back in my consulting days, I mean, half the job was filling out timesheets, and like the job of like the manager on the project, you spent half the time just figuring out the resourcing. It's like, oh, well, this person's on 3 different projects. They can be 15 hours here, 17 hours there, 8 hours here, and you're just playing that game, and it feels like that's what most of the people that were above me were spending a lot of their time doing. Let's just go to a fixed fee. You might win some more than you win others in terms of like the ROI on it, but I think overall the time that you get back feels worth it. Time value of money.
Time value of money.
The next guest and our final guest on the show is one that we're really excited about, Gino. Let's tee it up for a second. We can also maybe tee up and talk about the spot.
Play the damn spot.
Yeah, we can play the spot at some point, but talk about what's happening here. You got Dick's and Adidas. Branded content kind of play, but Dick's and Adidas come together. You said it's like a marriage, Dick's and Adidas.
Yeah, they've been working together, right?
Yeah.
They've been doing this, I'm pretty sure. And the spot's interesting too. It's like where it all kicks off. It's got Pat Mahomes, Brittany Mahomes, Messi, Trinity Rodman, some more celebs in there. But I think what's interesting about this, Jack, is it's filmed in the store. It's made to look like it's in the store. So I predict this might be like one of the more effective ads out there. Like if like
like getting people to actually go to the store.
yeah, I think like when you like a research company will test people and like, are you more likely to go to Dick's Sporting Goods? They will say like 100% increase or whatever. Like it's going to do really well in the effectiveness because it's all in the store. The association, it all works out.
Yeah, well, that's kind of like a big thing for Dick's. I think they're one of the last these apparel brands, consumer brands, not fashion, but like sportswear.
Yeah.
Where the experience of going to Dick's is still a thing. Like if I'm gonna go order something, especially for sports, you actually do want to. You want to
get in the freaking tee box there.
Yeah, Ellie's gonna step in here. Ellie, what's up?
Programming update.
Oh, great.
Melissa Christian.
A little programming update. Melissa Christian will be stepping in for Emily Silver. Melissa Christian is the VP of brand building at Dick's Sporting Goods. Gino.
Let's freaking go.
So you talk about building brands. We're building it. We're building the guest list as we go, but still James Rowe from the OBB media side and Bolded will be joining the show. Apologies if there's any graphic inconsistencies, but appreciate obviously being able to talk with them. JR is going hard right now. Do we want to, if possible, show the spot before we bring them in? Let's just go in. Let's bring them in. We'll show it on the side.
Okay.
James Rowe and Melissa, welcome to the show.
This is live.
This is live. How's it going?
How we doing? Live TV is best, right?
This
Last
is
minute substitution.
It's a dream. It's a dream.
Oh, is that
true.
graphic updated too?
Look at that. The graphic's already updated, by the way, Melissa.
You guys are pros. I expect nothing less.
I am surprised.
That is a shout out to JR. He's on the sticks right now. JR and Ellie, the production crew, combined age of about 30 years old, I would say.
No, that's not true. Legally, that's not true. This is awesome. How long has Adidas and Dick's, how long have they, you guys worked with them? For a question for Melissa.
Sure. Well, we've worked with them for many years. If you're asking about this campaign specifically, we have probably started to think about the World Cup about 18 months ago and thinking about what this moment was going to mean for the US and for our collective businesses. And as you can imagine, the teams are just so excited to attack this brief. So it's been a fun year and a half.
Totally.
And James, I think you mentioned it was one of the first projects that you were working on when you started, when Bolded was getting going. So talk about that. What an interesting first project to have for a monoculture event like the World Cup. So what's the process been? What's the journey been like for you?
Yeah, I mean, amazing. It's, obviously with OBB, we've been working with Dick's for 18 months, 2 years, but this was my first big project with Melissa and the team. I'm a massive Arsenal fan, massive soccer fan. So it's it couldn't be a better brief for me and a more sort of intimidating brief at the same time. It's the World Cup with Dick's and Adidas on our own doorstep. I think for us, it was important that we didn't just create another World Cup campaign. It's very easy to think about all the legendary World Cup campaigns that have gone before. We really wanted to make sure this spoke to both Dick's and Adidas, and obviously Adidas, a legend in soccer, one of the OG brands from a soccer perspective, and Dick's really connecting to a US audience, right? Athletes all over the US come to Dick's for their outfitting and for their fandom. And so we wanted to marry those two things together in a way that only Dick's and Adidas could. And I think that's part of the reason we settled on this story of Dick's and Adidas products transporting you to World Cup moments like never before.
Absolutely. It makes sense here. So when you saw it, when the team first saw it, Melissa, what were their reactions to either the storyboards or the rough draft of this all? Why did you say yes to this?
I think there were a couple of reasons. As we were thinking about the World Cup and in our brand and the role that we played in it, we just felt like this monoculture event, as James said, was going to transform sports within the US. And anytime something major in sports happens, it starts at a Dick's Sporting Goods because we're embedded in 800 communities across the country. And we got really inspired by this idea in partnership with Adidas of how do we demonstrate the way that this is an energy that starts at Dick's, but takes you so much further in soccer. And I think what OBB and Bolded brought together in terms of an idea was brilliant in the way that it does, just exactly as James says. It brings consumers into our store, and then it transports them to these epic experiences within the sport of soccer. And I love that too, because strategically that's very aligned to a message at Dick's. We're trying to really land with our consumers, and that you find product in our store that you may not expect. And man, it helps you get and fulfill your dreams or get to that new sports achievement that you're really chasing after. And I love how this does all of that wrapped up in a really fun narrative that features such an incredible talent from the Adidas roster.
It gets me jazzed up.
I just have a personal anecdote. I
too.
believe
Go ahead, Jack. What's yours?
Would you like me? I will be doing my personal anecdote. We will react to my personal anecdote. Gino will do his personal anecdote. We will react to that personal anecdote. And then we will try and find a way to get this interview back on the rails. But I believe it was the 2006 FIFA World Cup. I distinctly remember me and all my brothers. I have 4 older brothers, and we went to the Dick's Sporting Goods when FIFA started. We weren't a big soccer family, but obviously when FIFA rolls around, you get really into it.
Oh, for sure.
We bought the video game. We went to Dick's and we bought a soccer ball, but we had to go to Dick's to get it because you wanted to get the FIFA World Cup ball. And then we also went and bought a hockey net. And we played in our backyard, soccer, 2v2 soccer with my brothers.
It is the best playing the sport in the backyard of the series that's on. Like when
Jack,
there's
funny enough,
commercial break, you go.
that was our other concept that we pitched. It was featuring you and your brothers in your backyard playing with a World Cup ball transported to 2026, you know?
Well, everyone
It's so
tried to,
close.
Yeah, you try and do the bicycle kick, you try and do it all.
Yeah.
But like that to me is like an insight, right, Melissa? Like I imagine you hear a lot of these kinds of stories.
Absolutely. And I think that's what makes it so fun to be at an organization like Dick's Sporting Goods. People have such personal but treasured memories that our store and our experiences play. And we're so grateful for that. And exactly. Imagine this World Cup here on our home turf. We know this is going to inspire the next generation of soccer players, and we are thrilled to be a part of their journey and to really, get kids playing and loving the sport and bringing new fans into it too.
I love it.
And so, Gino, would you like to know?
Mine was not as good as yours. My quick one will be that, like, as after my first job, I'm post-grad now, I'm like struggling with work, my career-wise, like I'm trying that transition, signed up for an intramural softball league, and we all go to Dick's Sporting Goods to get our first bat and our mitts and stuff and cleats and fully kitted out. So I have some really good photos of that moment, but it really brought, my hometown friends together to be in that Dick's Sporting Goods. That's my
And I want to, just going off of that, like, Melissa, in a world where there seems to be so much emphasis on buying online, delivery services, all that. To me, like, there still is something about going for something like sports, like something like equipment that you're gonna have to use. So for Dick's, like, how important was it to emphasize the physical store for this campaign?
Good question.
Really important, I think, for a couple reasons. One, I feel like our stores are like our best hero character in everything that we do. We take a ton of pride in building beautiful stores that are the perfect backdrops to these very personal experience and moments that people are going to have in their lives. I also think we thought a lot about the World Cup. We knew would be an incredibly crowded ad space. And how could we ensure that our storyline and our campaign stood out among the crowd? We had to be who we were and authentic to who we are. And the best way to demonstrate our authenticity is our store. So to me, those were all of the reasons. And I also think we want people to fall back in love with stores. We're really proud of our online business, but Dick's is taking a lot of effort to build in experiences in our physical footprint, right? We want to be in your pocket on your phone when you need something quick and convenient, but we also want to create those spaces for you to come and enjoy. Like, your stories alluded to how sport brought people together, whether it was your friends or siblings, and we think our stores play a role in providing that forum for our consumers too.
And then I want to ask James to a little bit of a different direction, but for Bolded branded entertainment studio, now working with Dick's. How would you say, like, Bolded approaches projects or campaigns from a different lens than maybe a typical agency? Because to me, like, when you say branded entertainment studio, it might signal something different than like creative agency. So I guess help me kind of wrap my head around that.
Yeah, I think it all comes down to how we think about storytelling, and I think we do so with an entertainment first lens and an earned first lens. So, we think about why will people care about this, and then why will people share this? And I think every step through this journey, we've kept that front of mind, from the story we're telling to the talent we're casting to the way that we're architecting the comms plan for this rollout. Obviously, yesterday we launched the film on social, but there's so much more to come. Right from activating in store to on the ground to athlete stories that we're going to tell throughout the course of the World Cup. So this is very much the starting point of that moment. But to my original point, really about entertainment first and earn first, and that kind of synergy is, I think, a slightly different approach to what we see from other businesses.
And if I could add, just from the client perspective of someone who's worked with Bolded, I think we talk a lot about the importance of driving sports and culture together. And what I love about James and his team at Bolded is they do that so well without losing the authenticity of sport. I think it's really easy to throw a professional athlete in here or there, but we really want to show people that Dick's Sporting Goods gets sports. And I feel like James and his team does it better than anyone else. And that's why we are always so excited to bring big briefs to them and to work on them together.
It's great. Yeah. What's up, Gino?
Are you going to say anything?
No, here. You want to do a timeout?
You want to take a
timeout?
Do you want to talk about your anecdote again?
I already talked about the anecdote, Gino.
Well, I liked it a lot.
You want to do a timeout?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a quick 30-second timeout. You guys aren't allowed to hear this.
Should we talk about like Dick's Sporting Goods as a brand holistically and what they hope to achieve from World Cup and how that's going to catapult them into the future? What they hope?
Yeah, hopes and dreams. Let's go. Hopes and dreams.
Okay.
All right, timeout's over. We're back. Gino has a really important question.
This is for Melissa about the brand of Dick's Sporting Goods. Just really curious about the hopes and dreams of the brand. Where will this World Cup spot, take you guys in the near future?
Yes. At Dick's, we sincerely believe that sports change lives and impact people in a really positive way. So as we think about an epic moment like World Cup, we see it as just a transformative opportunity to get more people into sports for healthier lives, to build those community connections. And so for us, this is just a perfect step in bringing our mission to life and inspiring people and getting people both to play the sport and be active, as well as just become fans and connect with people. I think personal connection is so important, especially in today's day and age. So for us, this is just a way, it's soccer specific. We're so excited about the business of soccer and the fandom of soccer. So it like checks that box as we're thinking about growth there. But I also think this is an ode and like a love story to sports too. It just happens to be focused on soccer. And so I'm really excited about how this campaign is just going to halo all of sports to get people out there playing, competing, and finding camaraderie and the love of game.
I love it. I'm going to put James on the spot. James, is there a favorite item that you've bought from a Dick's Sporting Goods, one that stands out over your time?
Well, I'm going to just take a look at my background here. The Trionda ball, which is the official World Cup ball this year. I feel like I've seen it more times than I care to admit, but I guess like it's wrapped up in the last 18 months that we've been working, 10 months particularly with Melissa and the team shooting all around the world. That ball has been a consistent item in all of our shoots. And, I particularly remember we shot Messi and Lamine on the same day. Messi was in Miami. Lamine Yamal was in Barcelona. They walked on set exactly the same time, and so we were shooting in two places exactly the same time. That ball was central to both of those shoots, so it takes me back to those moments. But and again, as a massive soccer fan, how can I not say the World Cup 26 ball?
I love it. And in the LinkedIn comment right now, someone just said between this and the backyard legend spot, Adidas is nailing it with the World Cup opportunity. It's a great partnership, of course. And now I want to toss the question to Melissa, though. Melissa, favorite product you've ever bought at Dick's Sporting Goods?
Oh my gosh, I buy way too much there. I think everyone should.
That was a great call to
Well,
action.
I will say though, this is maybe I love the basketball hoop that I bought my kids. Like I just love the things that I'm seeing get my three children out in the yard playing. So the basketball hoop, they also are loving their Trionda and they're very proud that they have the real World Cup ball. So I sometimes I feel like I'm setting these standards in sports that they're going to have sort of high taste for the rest of their lives in terms of the product that they're getting. But yes, there's so much. Even this shirt, people wouldn't expect you can find like an Adidas denim shirt at Dick's Sporting Goods. There's so much there. So
Yeah, it's fire. It's fire.
everyone should go shop.
Yeah, get out there. Everyone go shop. Yeah, listen, Melissa wouldn't be a marketer if she didn't
I'm a
include
marketer.
a call to action
For sure.
to go to the store. And if there's any show on earth that can appreciate that, it's us. Gino, anything from you?
No, just thinking about how Dick's Sporting Goods is kind of like the antidote to being on your phone too much. You go out and play.
Yeah, go out and play. Nike. Mine was going to be Nike Elite socks that I bought when I was around 12 years old. The Nike Elite socks were a staple of my outfit.
The white baseball pants that I bought with the red stripe.
Gino bought like a full baseball uniform to play in our men's league softball league, which was
You gotta look.
I feel that's right on character, given the suspenders for breaking entry. You go in.
Look good, play good.
Every time.
It's
Yeah.
dedication.
It's dedication. Well, appreciate both of your dedication to this campaign, and thank you for joining the show. Melissa Christian, VP of Brand Building at Dick's, and James Rowe, President at Bolded. Thank you both so much, and congrats, and excited to
Steve.
see what comes next.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jack.
Amazing.
Speak soon.
Amazing.
I like that.
Oh,
Is it
that
playing
what a
Lenny
show.
Kravitz like on the transition? Play the transition again. I want to get away.
It's a little bit of Lenny Kravitz. That's great. Well, JR and Ellie, the production team, absolutely crushed it today. The show was fantastic, Gino. What are your thoughts as we wrap up another fantastic Breaking Entering live show?
Everybody was dressed well today. That could be because we're presented by Rothmans. Shout out to Rothmans, men's clothing store here based in New York City. 100 years of taking New Yorkers as they are and helping them dress better, Jack.
10% off at checkout if you use code Breaking10 or go to their store too. Mention Breaking Entering. Tell them Jack and Gino sent you. Tell Ken that Jack and Gino sent you. What a show. We went through a lot. So if you're just joining now and you want to go back, there's some, I would say my ideal viewing scenario is I've got this on my TV as I'm kind of chilling out, doing the dishes, maybe cooking something. We had Joe Cronk and Ndidi Ote, the Accenture Song CEO, and Ndidi and Joe is from Whalar, Accenture acquiring Whalar. We got kind of like their first video interview, I think.
I mean, the CEO of Accenture Song, like that's a big deal.
It's a big deal. Damien Escobar, CEO of Art of Sound and the Chief Music Officer at Havas, and he's leading the newly formed VOLYUM, which is a record label that's going to be sitting under Havas. That was a fantastic conversation. If you want to understand how music and how brands are thinking about getting into music culture and participating, that was a great interview. Christine Cotter is running 360i, which has been brought back from the dead by DENTSU. She explains what the structure looks like and how they're creating a boutique agency inside of a holding company, Gino. And then how do we wrap things up?
We wrap things up with James Rowe, the president of Bolden, and Melissa Christian, VP of Brand at Dick's Sporting Goods, to talk about their latest campaign around the World Cup. Go get yourself inside of Dick's Sporting Goods and then go out and frickin' play.
Go out and frickin' play. Or if you're not going to go out and play, listen to the live show, watch it. We're live at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. We also post every episode afterwards on Apple and Spotify and YouTube.
I got something here for you guys too.
Here we go.
Post show.
Post show. Welcome to the post show.
When you were talking to James and Melissa, I was writing down a list. I was locked in. And because that spot that we were just talking about for Dick's Sporting Goods was about getting into the store. Right. So I wrote down a list of some of my favorite brand experiences where you must go in store.
Okay, let's do it.
So you got Dick's Sporting Goods on there. I also got Costco on my list. Got to go inside of Costco once in your life. Bass Pro Shops, that's just a fun one. Jump inside the aquarium. Don't do that. Then I got the Jelly Belly Factory. Have you ever done that tour? The Jelly Belly Factory?
No, I've never done it.
I've done that. That was sick. No, not the M&M store.
American Girl doll
American
store.
Girl
That was
dolls.
a submission from Ellie. From Ellie. Great submission.
I'll let you guys
what about,
ideate. I got way more. Can I finish my list?
Let him do his list.
I know.
Let him do his list. Let him do his list.
Heineken Museum. These are all things that are personal to me. Heineken Museum.
Yeah, you cannot say whether they're right or wrong because it's personal to Gina.
The Yorktown food court in the mall in Lombard, Illinois, and then Guitar Center.
Guitar Center is a good.
I don't play any instruments,
Yeah.
right? But when you see
Guitar
some dude
Center.
rocking out in there, getting lessons, oh, it's so sick, man. The last one, Lakefront Brewery, I was like 17 years old. I had a couple beers with my parents, which is legal in Wisconsin. Where you're with your parents, was buzzed for the first time.
So a brewery, any brewery really is a great in-store. Ellie has a submission.
Can we?
Yeah, we could. Yeah,
yeah.
go ahead. So while they're grabbing
I
that,
knew this would get the people going.
Yes, if you're in the chat still, if you're here for the post show, put in what are your favorite in-store experiences that you for brands that you must go in store.
hear me?
Ellie, what do you got?
For all of my Massachusetts, Boston area locals, Jordan Furniture is the greatest in-store experience. It's a furniture store, but it's literally like an amusement park. They turned it into, it is the greatest of all time. You go with your family, you go on a first date. It's a furniture store. You buy couches.
Can we let's pull up Jordan Furniture Store.
Jordan
You said
Furniture.
first date there?
Jordan Furniture in
Yeah.
the Boston area. It reminds me of like we would go to Target as high schoolers just to pass the time to do something. Go to the mall, go to Target.
Love Target.
Jordan Furniture.
Jordan's
How about
Furniture.
IKEA?
I was thinking about adding
IKEA.
IKEA to it. You get the meatball.
Okay, so Jordan Furniture. Oh my
Furniture.
God, what
yeah.
the hell is this?
Yes, it's insane.
Is that an IMAX theater
Yes.
inside the
Yeah.
furniture store?
It is a magical
This is
place.
like the ideal third place.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
cool.
people are searching for community. Just go to the Jordan's Furniture Store.
It's like a nightclub vibe.
How do
there,
you even
too.
buy? Where's the furniture?
They don't have any.
No.
It's just catalog.
It is magical. It's a magical
What-
place.
yeah, what's
pull
this
up
pic-
that pull up the ice cream.
Yeah.
Yep.
Beantown.
Beantown,
at
that's
Jordan's
Boston.
Furniture. Look at this. It's like Rainforest Cafe vibes.
Yeah, it's kind of freaking me out.
It's freaking
It's
Gino.
kind
out
of freaking. It's like the Rainforest Cafe.
Don't
Like,
come to Boston.
Don't come to
Uncanny
Okay,
Valley.
all
It's
right.
kind of weird to me. It's
All
like
right,
backrooms
Ellie,
vibe. What's that called?
I think Ellie just threatened Gino.
Backrooms? Yeah.
I think
Don't
Gino
even
just
think about
threatened-
showing up.
Gino
You're not welcome. You're not welcome in
said,
Boston.
Don't come to Boston. That was
From Boston.
who does that at?
Is that Duncan?
Reminds me of Uncle Rick. No, Boston is Sam Adams, right?
Duncan. From, oh yeah, Sam Adams. Yeah.
I was watching on TV. God, the Dr. Rick commercials, Progressive, Arnold Worldwide, the agency that does it. Like literally the funniest writing of any content that I see. It's the newest one that I watched was they were like, they're every time someone goes or you go on a family trip with your dad, they use war terminology. They're like, let's regroup in 10. And Dr. Rick's like, it's not a military operation.
I'm turning into Dr. Rick. for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, you're turning into Dr. Rick or turning into
I'm turning into a father that Dr. Rick would have to solve.
Oh, Broxton in the LinkedIn comment section said Play It Against Sports was killer.
That's
back
a
in the
great
day.
brand.
Play It
Great
Against
brand.
Sports.
Oh, I have one.
Bias, we call
Yeah.
it.
Patrick Herbert in the comments said Rothmans on the pod when?
Well,
That's
Isn't
a
that
great
funny?
question.
we
Isn't
may
that
or
funny?
may not have the owner of Rothmans joining the show tomorrow. That's a little sneak preview.
We do.
That will be a
do.
can't miss interview.
The grand reveal.
That will be a can't miss. I fully expect
Yeah.
record viewership for Ken from Rothmans,
Yes.
the owner of Rothmans.
He's got stories.
the god, really branded entertainment.
Yeah.
If you think about
been doing
sponsoring the live show, there is so much. They kind of, a little sneak preview, Ken may or may not have been the original creator of the most interesting man in the world.
Whoa, like the very famous Dos Equis ad, most interesting man. Are you telling me he worked at Euro RSCG and helped make that idea?
He created something that's eerily similar that came out before that. So I'm just connecting dots.
We're just gonna say it like
I'm
it
not
is.
speculating, I'm just connecting dots.
We will reveal the timeline, the original idea, and it's up for you to decide.
Yeah, you decide. We report, you decide. But excited for that. That's all I got, Gino. Patrick Herbert said Sesame Street in Universal or Disney or whatever it's in. Sesame Street. I believe there's one in Pennsylvania as well, like the Sesame Street studio. You can go and visit. You can't go and visit. Like you have to have kids to go to that. You can't just show up as an adult to the Sesame Street.
I'll go over I freaking want, man.
That would be so weird.
Nah,
Did I
can do
see you
whatever.
in the park the other day, just hanging out by the slides?
I lounge in the park sometimes. Like it's nice out. Like I'm gonna sit on one of the benches.
Someone please Photoshop Gino at a park. The Pablo Escobar
Oh yeah.
photo where he's all sad. Well, that's the show. We're back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on LinkedIn, YouTube, and X with another massive, massive guest list that we'll be revealing later today or tomorrow, whenever we feel like it. Thank you for joining. We'll see you tomorrow.